Good evening, you're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, a split within the AAP's top leadership comes out into the open as Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan take on Arvind Kejriwal and his style of functioning. Is Kejriwal a one-man show whose personality is dominating the party, or are those who are speaking out of touch with reality? And later in the show, nearly 10 years after he was kicked out, Jagmohan Dalmia returns as head of the BCCI. Is this the clean-up that the cricket board was looking for? Has nothing changed in Indian cricket in the last decade? But the big political story tonight, will Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan, two well-known faces of the Aam Aadmi Party, be thrown out of the party's highest decision-making body? Well, that is just what may happen later this week after the two leaders have openly questioned the way the party and Arvind Kejriwal in particular are functioning. The rift, in fact, is so bad now that allegations and counter-allegations are being made publicly by all sides. For a party that has just won a remarkable victory in Delhi, this could mean trouble.
Aam Aadmi Party will meet on Wednesday to take tough decisions on their disgruntled leaders Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan. The founder members Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan are expected to be removed from AAP's highest decision-making body, the Political Affairs Committee.
हजारों लाखों वो लोग जो बड़ी उम्मीद से इस पार्टी की ओर देखते हैं, उनके बीच में हम लोगों की छवि एक मजाक सी बनती जा रही है.
The Aam Aadmi Party today acknowledged a rift in its top leadership for the first time and indicated that a tough decision in this regard will be taken in the upcoming National Executive Council meet. Top sources indicate to NDTV that they are in possession of a telephonic conversation wherein Prashant Bhushan is heard saying that he wants the Aam Aadmi Party to be reduced to just 22 seats in the 2015 Assembly elections. Citing this telephonic conversation and evidence of leaks by Yogendra Yadav, the party is now all set to distance itself from both Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan from its decision-making process. Meanwhile, a new note today kept the crisis on the boil for the party that had till last month basked in its historic election victory in Delhi. This one by AAP's Delhi Secretary Dilip Pandey accuses Yogendra Yadav, Prashant Bhushan and his father Shanti Bhushan for trying to weaken the party and replace Kejriwal with Yadav as the party chief.
दिल्ली की इतनी बड़ी जीत जिस व्यक्ति के नेतृत्व में जीती गई, उस व्यक्ति को हटाने की एक मुहिम चल रही है पिछले 6 महीने 8 महीने से.
And as the drama played out, Yogendra Yadav tweeted, "Let petty politics not come in the way of our greater purpose."
अरविंद और उनकी कोठरी ये चाहते हैं इस तरह की पार्टी बना दिया जाए, अरविंद को उसका मुखिया मान के और सब उसको अधिकार दे दिए जाएं, जैसे चाहे वो पार्टी को चलाए.
What's clear from the developments of the past few days is that the rift has come to a boiling point and that Yogendra Yadav is fighting a losing battle. It's no longer a fight between Arvind Kejriwal and Yogendra Yadav, but it's now party versus Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan. And in the next 48 hours, they will be ruled out. In New Delhi with camera person Tom Joseph, Sonal Mehrotra, NDTV.
So has Arvind Kejriwal become a one-man show for the Aam Aadmi Party? But the contrary question could be, is that necessarily a bad thing? And are those like Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav who are now questioning that style of functioning out of touch with political realities? Joining us on the program tonight is senior Aam Aadmi Party member and spokesperson Ashutosh. Also joining us this evening is Captain Gopinath, who used to be a member of the Aam Aadmi Party and has written extensively since then about why he left. Style of functioning had something to do with that. Shazia Ilmi, who is now a member of the BJP and had famously walked out of the AAP for similar reasons, and Aarti Jairath is here in the studio with us. Ashutosh, I'll ask you straight off. Is there now likely to be, Ashutosh, a split in the party later this week? Is it now very likely that Yogendra Yadav and Mr. Bhushan are on their way out of the PAC?
No, Nidhi, I think you are entitled to have any viewpoint which you want about the party itself. But as a member of the Aam Aadmi Party, I completely rule out this, and I can only say that I am not competent enough to pass a judgment on something like this. National Executive is a supreme body. National Executive on 4th will sit down and discuss. The matter of discussion will be that anybody can raise any question within the party forum, and anybody is entitled. The letters were written, obviously, yes. Those letters will be discussed in the National Executive. But what is more painful and what makes the thing more unhappy is that how come these letters come into the public domain? And if the things will be leaked out like this, that doesn't augur well with the party itself. So our national executive will sit down and discuss and will take a decision on this.
Would you concede to Ashutosh that the entire controversy coming particularly so soon after that amazing win in Delhi is something that is hurting your party? You know, these differences which are now being played out in public?
See, honestly speaking, I'm not speaking as a party, but it's my personal opinion, and the personal opinion is that if these leaks come into the party and there is the perception is going that there's nothing, that everything is not well and hunky-dory with Aam Aadmi Party, that is what is hurting Aam Aadmi Party. Anybody is entitled to raise its voice, to raise objections, to seek clarification from the leadership, from the party, but well within the party forum and not in the public forum. As long as things are discussed in the party forum, it's welcome. But when it goes out, certainly it affects the image of the party. But that's again is my personal view.
Ashutosh, just to quickly take on one or two points that both the gentlemen have raised in their various letters. For instance, Prashant Bhushan's letter that was dated on the 26th of February, he talks about the one-person-centric campaign that is making the AAP look like other parties. And even if that's effective, does that justify sacrificing our principles? And also talks about attempts made to surreptitiously seek Congress support to form a government without having to contest the polls. Now, firstly, on the point of this one-person-centric campaign, how would you respond to that particular criticism that he has raised? Because he's not the only one who has raised it, that this is a party that is increasingly centering around the personality cult of Arvind Kejriwal.
See, it will not be right on my part to comment on a letter which Prashant Bhushan has written to the party, and the party will respond to that, and party will react on that, and national executive will discuss these issues. There's nothing wrong in Prashant Bhushan raising these issues in the party forum. So I'm not competent authority to speak on that, but yes, in my personal capacity, I can tell you one thing. There is a difference between a party led by a charismatic leader and a personality cult. When a party is led by a charismatic leader, Arvind Kejriwal is a charismatic leader. Aam Aadmi Party has contested Delhi's election under his leadership. But I being a member of the Aam Aadmi Party, I can tell you that Arvind believes in the wider consultation. And after wider consultation, he takes a decision. There's nothing wrong in it. But when it comes to the personality cult, Aam Aadmi Party doesn't believe in the personality cult, because personality cult means the blind faith, and where nobody has any right to raise a question to the leadership. That's what Aam Aadmi Party doesn't believe and doesn't practice. Okay,
I'm going to come back to you for more points that have been raised by the two gentlemen. But Shazia Ilmi, I'll take this question to you then, because on this question of whether or not there is a personality cult or whether it's too centered around Arvind Kejriwal, the fact is that people who voted for the AAP in Delhi voted because Arvind Kejriwal was the man leading the campaign. It was largely a vote in his name, in the way that it was a vote for Narendra Modi during the Lok Sabha elections. So is that necessarily a bad thing? Isn't that just real politics?
I think Aam Aadmi Party was a different, claims to be a different party than others. It was born of a movement. I see a cause degenerating into a cult, and I don't see AAP any different from any other parties. AAP came into being, its raison d'etre was that it stood for transparency, it stood for decentralization, it stood for accountability, that it wasn't a cult, that it wasn't a supremo kind of a party, that it did not believe in inner party coteries, and believed in a wider consultative process. And having been a member of National Executive Committee of Aam Aadmi Party, and much before that having joined, being a part of Anna movement, I can assure you that Arvind Kejriwal would encourage consultations as long as people are in agreement with him. It's like Benjamin Disraeli said, my idea of an agreeable man is one who agrees with me. And that's pretty much what Arvind stands for and his inner coterie. Anybody who asks questions and tough questions, if you read Prashantji's letter, and I can assure you this much, he'll be the last person to leak it. I know how selective leaks are done and what is the process in the Aam Aadmi Party, having worked with them for a long enough period. So I think it is deliberately being done to tarnish their image, which is Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav's, and they're least likely to be doing that as opposed to many others in the party whose job is primarily this. But not going further into it, let me just say, Prashant Bhushan asked about the candidate selection. He asked about the party being in the ambit of RTI. He asked about the expenditure being made public and being on the website. So he's asking for in a party democracy. He's wanting to know as to how Dilip Pandey, for instance, has become the Delhi secretary. What was the consultative process that led to that? And so on and so forth. These are very real questions coming from somebody who is a founder member of a party which stands for change and transformation in politics.
My only counter to
the
that,
idea,
and I know Ashutosh is smiling at what you're saying.
करने नहीं आए हैं,
my only counter to that is which
हैं.
political party today in this country doesn't have a coterie, doesn't have, a leadership, a central leadership or one leader around whom, I mean, if you look at every party, whether it's Narendra Modi in the BJP, whether it is the Gandhis in the Congress, every regional party,
I'm happy to contend with
that. There is one figure that holds those parties together. How can
Aam Aadmi Party should say, we're like any other party. We believe in the political expediency. We believe in political expediency. We do believe in having a very rich candidates. We are okay with candidates from BJP, Congress. We are like any other party. Then there is no problem. But Aam Aadmi Party came to power because it spelt.
I'll take that to Ashutosh before I open this up.
And that is why there is a problem with this.
Okay,
Aam Aadmi Party has
the problem.
The raison d'etre. The raison d'etre.
Okay, that's a good point that you made.
The very basis of being was that it stands for something different.
Ashutosh, is the problem that as a party, the AAP has held itself to a different standard and always held itself to a different moral standard, a different standard of transparency, and that's why this is hurting you more than it would perhaps any other party? There are bickerings that happen in other parties too, but it's hurting the AAP more.
Nidhi, let me first compliment Shazia Ilmi, because I know she's in the BJP, but her heart still lies in Aam Aadmi Party, and that's why she has such good words about Aam Aadmi Party. That Aam Aadmi Party stands for transparency, Aam Aadmi Party stands for accountability, Aam Aadmi Party stands for decentralization. I'm very, very thankful to the Shazia Ilmi. Shazia Ilmi, this is the only party whom you left in a press conference, and the National Executive of Aam Aadmi Party very candidly and very kindly has requested you that if you can come back to the Aam Aadmi Party. No other party does that. I think Aam Aadmi Party, that's why you have such kind words for Aam Aadmi Party. I'm really thankful to you. Secondly, when you're talking about what harm is doing, I think just now the Delhi has reposed faith in Aam Aadmi Party. It has given 67 seats out of 70. So Delhi knows who are the people and what kind of politics they stand for. This is the same party, just 2 years old party. Last year we got 28 seats and now 67 seats. So that means the moral compass of Aam Aadmi Party is intact, and people of Delhi believes. That's why people of Delhi has given us such massive mandate.
All right, Ashutosh, like I said, I will come back to you about more points that have been raised, by Prashant, Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav. But Captain Gopinath, as you listen to this, do you worry that any potential differences or any split could actually hurt the party, or that this is a natural churning process that also may happen as a political party grows? It's not always going to be hunky-dory, is it?
No, I think, I feel sad because, as you know, the whole country looked up to Anna Hazare and Kejriwal. I mean, Anna gave the idealism and gave hope, and Kejriwal gave a political platform. And amongst the founding members of the Aam Aadmi, not only Aam Aadmi Party but also the Anna movement, I think there's no question that Kejriwal stood out. Even during the Anna movement, I met him a few times, and everybody knew that he was a hardliner, but he had a charisma, and he led the party with fearlessness. He made a lot of sacrifice. The whole country has to be grateful to him because he changed the nature of political discourse. He brought a new political accountability into the political debate. He brought governance to center stage. I mean, all this, I think the country has to be forever grateful to him. But as we all know that throughout history, people who replace tyrants sometimes become worse than the tyrants. And there's no question that all of us have to be thankful to him to have risen back from the ashes, literally, and become a strong opposition to BJP, because the BJP needs a strong opposition in the obliteration of the Congress. But the very fact that someone wins with such brute majority cannot completely condone all the misdemeanors or the lack of inner party democracy within the party, because as we all know, the bane of Indian politics today, it is still, I think, evolving, that there is no inner party democracy, though we have a vibrant democracy for state elections, panchayat elections, even the national elections. Within the parties, there is no either debate or either good elections. Look at all the Western democracies. If somebody has to contest as a prime minister, first you have to win a hard-pitched battle within the party. If you have to win the nomination in the USA within the Democratic Party, first you have to win a battle. Similarly in the UK, similarly in Germany. So no political party has inner party democracy.
And you were hoping that the AAP would be different.
Aam Aadmi Party too.
You were clearly hoping that
no, 1 second. Yeah. I just want to make a point. Let me finish. The problem is that we all know that there are two very, very solid, sane voices in the AAP, Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan. I mean, they have been rock solid. The whole country believes in them as much as they believed in Kejriwal. But sometimes what happens, whether it could be people like Shazia Ilmi or Yogendra Yadav or many others, sometimes you get a doubt whether they are raising these questions because they are sidelined. Because when they were in the coterie of Arvind Kejriwal, when other people like me, voiced a different opinion, I remember Yogendra Yadav asking in a TV channel, who is Captain Gopi? When did he join? I didn't even know that he had joined the party. So I think he's getting it back in his own coin, or he's paying it back in his own coin. But anyway, that is not the point.
No,
the
but
point
that's an interesting point that you make, Captain Gopinath. Just hold
no
that thought for a second. Let me just get Aarti's first quick comments on this. Very interesting what Captain Gopinath was also saying there. But my question also, as I asked Shazia, is that, is this the evolution of the AAP into a hardcore, full-fledged Indian political party now? This is not the AAP of 2 years ago. This is a different AAP, and that's what's manifesting itself here.
Well, I think to some extent, Nidhi, you're right. But, I would like to say one thing, that I don't think the people of Delhi voted for Aam Aadmi Party because they have inner party democracy or they have a collective decision-making process. I think the people of Delhi voted for Aam Aadmi Party because they're hoping for a different style of governance. They want a government that is less corrupt. They want a government that is more people-focused. They want a government that is going to deliver on the promises that it made during the campaign. And that is what Aam Aadmi Party will be judged on. How much have they lived up to the promises they made to the people of Delhi? Look, what's happening in the Aam Aadmi Party now is, I think, partly inevitable, because when you have, today, Indian politics is personality driven. I mean, there's no question about it. And if Aam Aadmi Party
the charge
had not
about
done
Arvind Kejriwal sort of becoming a personality driven, it becoming a personality driven party is an unfair criticism, because that's how it is?
It is a I mean, that is how it is. And it is a fair criticism that it is becoming a personality driven
party. But then so is every
party.
other party.
No, and then maybe that's inevitable, here, even, Captain Gopinath was talking about, sort of Western democracies, but look at the UK. I mean, Margaret Thatcher just dominated the Conservative Party. Tony Blair just dominated Labour Party. So, I mean, I think, these things do happen, and, we have to accept them. The thing really here is, what is his delivery going to be in terms of his promises to the people of Delhi? Because that's what he's going to be judged on.
Are you saying that if these two leaders are, out of their decision-making body later this week, it's not going to matter so much politically?
Well, they weren't the vote catchers, were they? So Arvind Kejriwal was the vote catcher in the Delhi election.
People voted for Kejriwal, not for
Yogendra Yadav
and Prashant Bhushan.
Kejriwal. That was the slogan. Yeah.